Did I finally get these right? Welcome back. Guess what? I mean, I don't know 100% yet, but I'm going to claim victory on this today. Where the last video left off, I was frustrated because I had a good rod. I cut the new rods to the same exact length and they were too long. And just something with the shape of the ball end made them sit in the lifters and in the arm cup just a little bit differently, so they were too long, and that was just infuriating. So I got lucky though, because I did take the one that was a hair too long on this side and I tried it on the other side, and it worked. In fact, it worked like perfectly. I've got the other side done, all 4 push rods installed, and I've even set the valve lash on those, and I'm pretty much right in the middle of the adjustment, so I can't ask for a whole lot more than that. I just cut these, just pressed the ends in. These newer ones are a lot harder to get the ends in than the ones I got from Sonex. Those I was able to do just with a heat gun. I think I have a 1,000-degree Fahrenheit heat gun. I heated up the tips, set the end in, put them on an aluminum block, and I hit them with a plastic dead blow mallet, and drove them on with no problem with the other ones. These would not go with that heat source. I actually had to take these over to my fabrication area and hit them with a propane torch. Brought them up to where they started to get a little bit red, but that's what it took to drive these ball ends into these heavy-duty chromoly push rods. There was no other way possible that I would be aware of. They needed that much heat. So here, you can check it out. Will I succeed or will I fail? So we'll find out now. Last thing I had here, I believe I had that one older rod that was the correct size installed there in cylinder number 3, and that's a whole other story. You ever so sure you know something that when you're reading, say, an assembly manual, that you kind of graze past the part that you think you know? Well, I was, I've read through the manual a bunch of times or whatever, and I had somehow had it in my mind that cylinders 1 and 3 were on opposite corners, and they're not. And that is probably a fair bit of the problems I've had with this whole push rod debacle that I've been going through. So I've been rotating the crank 180 degrees at a time, thinking this one's going to be in combustion or this one's in combustion, top dead center. Well, guess what? That's not right. The cylinders are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 and 3 are not, they're on opposite sides of the engine, but they're not on opposite corners of the engine. And I was just convinced that 1 and 3 were opposite, 2 and 4 were opposite, and that's not the case. And so all the time that I was thinking, I didn't have a chance of getting it right. Let's just say it would have been absolutely insane if I did get it right prior to catching that mistake. And I really only caught that mistake when I was basically setting up to do the valve lash on the other side once I was convinced that those push rods would work over there. I put them in, and I did not tighten the shaft down all the way, and I left the adjusters way back, and I brought it in a little bit at a time, rotated the crank, a little bit at a time, rotated the crank, and until I got it properly seated and then torqued. And then I got top dead center over here when I knew both valves were fully extended, and I set the valve lash, and then I went back and reset it and triple checked it even. And during that process, I discovered that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I feel like an absolute idiot, but it's a learning process. Again, I'm not familiar with the Volkswagen engines. I really should have slowed down and made sure that what I thought was correct was actually correct. So anyways, let's get this baby off of here and see if my new measurement is going to work for these other push rods, because I knew it only needed to be a little shorter, and I basically didn't come off square. There we go. All right, so I knew I only needed to be a little bit shorter, and I figured it couldn't be much. So what did I do? I did like any other professional would do. I guessed. I was just generally, I mean, I do a lot of machining, so I'm pretty familiar with what 10, 20, 30 thousandths looks like on a regular basis. And I was holding up the old rods next to the new rods and kind of looking at the curvature, stuff like this. And I made an arbitrary guess of 15 thousandths. So I cut these 4 rods 15 thousandths shorter than the ones on the other side. And I'm mostly convinced it's going to work. So this is our one good sized rod for this side of the engine. So we're going to set that aside up there. This shaft assembly has already been taken apart, cleaned, very lightly greased, and ready for final assembly. And let's just get a little grease on the ball ends and see if this works. Cylinder number 4, not cylinder number 3, for those that might be confused on that. Let's find the ball flap. Such a fun game. Every family should get involved with this. I got lucky too. We're pretty darn close to start with. All right. these started, and then we'll see that we get the rods in the cups. I'll pull them all out so that there's some resistance to keep them in the cup, and the grease should help to some degree there. Make sure all of our adjustments are backed out. Oh, that's definitely not. Oh yeah, it is. And okay. All right. I believe I left this side. So cylinder number 1 is at top dead center compression stroke now. So if I turn 180 degrees, that's number 2. All right, that is not the case. Am I turning it the right way? Or no, that would be number 4. Okay. So it seems like an awful lot there, but let's see what happens as we spin it in. Well, that might be slightly frustrating. Because if that's the case, well, no, because that one needs 14 thousandths too, so let's get the feeler gauges here. All right, that's not so bad. I'll call that 14. That's a little loose. Could be a hair tighter, but that's fine for right now. tiny bit loose, but for now it's adequate. All right, let's go another 180. So that was 1 and 4. So this will be 3. Again, a hair loose, but fine for now. That's the best one I've set so far, I think. Maybe even a tiniest hair tight, but that's 14. It's still snug. Okay. Let's do a little more rotation here. Let's go to number 2. All right. What comes after 2? Number 1. And then 1, 4. And 3. Okay. I'm a little disappointed because apparently that 15 thousandths I took off made a little bit bigger difference than I wanted it to. I'm still in the adjustment range, but I'm back at the far end, which is well, it is what it is. It'll be fine for a while, and it's not like I'm only holding on a thread. I've got a full thread or so visible here, so I'm not too worried. I've got some adjustment left in there, and with a little bit of tiniest drop of blue Loctite, you know, gives it a little extra holding power if absolutely needed. But I mean, the number of threads that are being held in there, it's only the lock nut that would eventually, somewhere down the road, start to be off the back. But not a big deal. We're there. We are within specs. I'm going to go back. I'm going to set them closer to get them right on at 8 thousandths on the intake, 14 thousandths on the exhaust. That's what my Turbo Aerovee kit requires. So that's where I'm going to set them at. I'm not going to buy another set of push rods and try and do it any better at this point in time. I may go way out on a limb now that I know how to do it so damn quickly. Swap a few of the push rods here or there, pull them all out, measure them, separate them, and see if I can't find which ones fit best in which locations. That's if this starts to bother me. I don't think it will. There's absolutely tons of threads left on the adjustments, and I've probably got a thread to a thread and a half more on the other side than this side, so it's not worth bothering with. So that's it. I officially declare victory over pushrods. I don't like these. At first I was thinking the ability, the customization of it was pretty cool of it, but I think if you know the correct length, there are pre-made pushrods out there. I don't know whether they're recommended for the Aerovees or not. Something I could ask Carrie and see to be sure, but I'm willing to bet if I would have searched hard enough, once I got the measurements exact, I probably could have found some pre-made pushrods that would be close enough for government work, as they say. But as of this point, I'm just happy that part's done. I'm going to go back, reset the valve lash, double check it, triple check it, make sure everything's good, and then I'm going to pop the valve covers on and move on to the next project, which is, to be honest with you, I don't even remember. I've been stuck on this one for so long. And I've got airframe stuff going on, and lots of other things like life and family. The warehouse out here that is my beautiful view from the building area is starting to come together. Maybe I'll give you a quick peek as to what's going on out there. And all right. So yeah, you can see the warehouse. Most of the racking is up. We're still assembling a row of the orange pallet racking down that side there. We've got a number of aisles filled so far and a number of aisles still vacant, but we're probably about 50% moved into the new warehouse. So that's a project that's been pretty distracting. All right, as I was saying, I've been working on some new products, so I've been spending a lot more time in development in the machine shop, ordering new tools, and a lot of my spare time after hours at home in the evenings, time where I would normally be reading on this project or planning out my next stages and things I wanted to do. I've been deep into the CAD development of some new products for my tattoo supply company. So that's taking a good bit of my time, and I really want to get that moving forward and get it developed, get it prototyped, get it finalized, and then I'm probably going to be hiring somebody to do the actual machining. I'll do all the prototyping, debugging, and everything, but I don't have time to stand in front of the machines and load parts and press go all the time. So once I get to that stage, that'll free up a lot more personal time, and then flying season's coming around here, so that's exciting. I'm crossed my fingers. FAA hopefully gets a hold of me at some point. I'm going to reach out to them yet again. They still don't answer the phone, but it is what it is. I think they're prioritizing people that are looking for first-class medicals right now because we have such a shortage for airline pilots. So the recreational guys are probably taking a back seat here, and I can kind of understand that, but it's been over 8 months now, so either tell me I can fly or tell me I can't fly, but there's no reason why I can't fly. So just need the right people to look at the paperwork, even if they have a few more questions or want me to see another physician for whatever reason. Not a problem. I'll jump through the hoops. I'll do what they ask. But, I'm really healthy for my age, so I'm not really concerned about it. But anyways, remember, if you like what I'm doing here, click the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, make YouTube happy, and share these with your friends. Thanks for watching.